Hello, hello. How are you? Are you doing okay? I'm doing fantastic. Oh man. Realizations are hard and beautiful and wonderful and painful. So when you are in the shit, when you're in it, it is so freaking hard to step back and pause and actually see what's going on around you. Sometimes it takes being out of it, like stepping away or just taking a step back to realize what's really going on. As most of you know, I have been on this journey with this inner child and healing some subconscious, I almost said unconscious, healing the subconscious, the programming, the conditioning, the things that I learned and were taught that weren't actually me, that I picked up along the way. And because of that, because I was healing those parts of me, I had the best of intentions in, getting my parents, siblings, friends to kind of see what was going on with my life and in my life, and just what was going on with me. I had a lot of realizations that were really hard to handle. They were really hard pills to swallow. And whereas I was telling my truth, I was telling the truth of what was happening, I still caused some unintentional damage, because whereas, yes, it was coming from a kind, loving place, there were parts of my inner child that still subconsciously wanted revenge. She did. She wanted revenge, and I didn't realize it. Because on one part, I was like, well, this is what should happen. Like, these are the things that should be happening. I didn't realize there was an underlining negativeness about it. For example, and this is me owning my shit. This is me owning my shit because I get it now. Like, I get it. I wanted a home. I wanted my own, I wanted a home because I was only ever given like a house. There was never like a homeness about it. And I went after theirs. I subconsciously wanted their house because I had made that house my home for so long. However, it really wasn't my home, and it wasn't a home to begin with. It was a house. It was a place to stay. It was a roof over my head, food on the table kind of thing, which threw me back into those old triggers because I still noticed that, hey, some of the things that were happening as a child and as a teenager, young adult, all that stuff, it was still happening now. And I wanted out so bad and wasn't able to. Like, I didn't have the ability to just get out. So it was literally putting myself back into those situations and that environment that happened back then. So yeah, I subconsciously wanted revenge. I wanted what they had because they didn't ever provide that for me. So yes, it was unintentional. My father was still acting certain ways, and I was like, how in the world are you still able to be a preacher and still be at a church, not to mention the biggest church in town? So subconsciously, I was like, you shouldn't be in that. Like, for me, it was like, I didn't feel like he deserved that. Granted, yes, he had put in so much work. He wasn't walking the walk and talking the talk. So subconsciously, I wanted him to lose it. I didn't mean for that to happen. I wasn't meaning for it to come across that way. And at the same time, I had all this pettiness behind the scenes coming toward me that I was like, no, this is not what's going to happen. And I kept telling myself all the time, like I told myself all the time, I'm not malicious. I'm not coming from an evil intent. Like, this isn't bad intentions. My subconscious, that I was telling my subconscious, no, this isn't what we're going to do. This isn't what we want. Yet there were still parts that I was trying to make it happen. And this is what I mean. Like, we have to be conscious about what we are doing. It can be a subconscious thing that's happening. We have to be conscious and self-aware enough to make sure that we don't actually act on them. It's a hard thing. It is tough. That's where we have to have the self-control, the self-discipline to not do those things, you know? And I get it. Like, I've admitted from the get-go, I'm not perfect and I make mistakes, and I do my best to make sure that I correct those mistakes. I can't go back and fix them. They've already happened. Moving forward, the mistakes do not define us. What happens after the mistakes are done, that defines us. That shows our true character. When someone's like, hey, you didn't do this right, or hey, you could have done this better, or hey, I don't like the way that you're doing this, we have to actually listen and make those corrections. Because if we don't, guess what? We're just as bad as the people in front of us. That's not me. That is not me. I want everybody to win. I want you to win just as much as I want me to win. That's all there is to it. It's acknowledging that, hey, what I'm doing is actually hurting someone. So I need to make sure that I'm not doing that. Because yes, hurt people. We don't have to. And we shouldn't want to. Because I'm not petty. I don't want to be petty. I'm not materialistic. No, that's not who I am. And that's not who we need to be. So yeah, that's been some realizations here in Sunday land. So just remember, just because you make a mistake, it does not mean that you are condemned to live and be punished for that mistake forever. It doesn't. You can do better. Moving forward, you can do better next time. You can just make sure that you're being better every single day, because that's my biggest goal. I want to make sure that I'm better today than I was yesterday, and I want to make sure that I'm better today so that I can be better tomorrow. And I hope the same for you, because we deserve it. We deserve it. I love you, and I hope you're having a bomb-ass day.